Welcome to Surrounded by Sports. I'm Kevin Perkins. We are here at Sideline Sports Bar and Restaurant with James Arnold Gamber. This is kind of funny. James has been generous enough to give me some of his time on many occasions. He was at one time the head trainer at UWF, Auburn, Texas Tech. He was the director of sports training at the Houston Clinic. If you are you don't know what that is, it's similar to what they do across the street, except it's been there and was established much earlier.
And actually, Dr. Andrews got his start there.
Yes, right. There you go. Dr. Andrews got his start there, right? Yep. So if you're a Pensacola person, that's how you can kind of see the through line there. You were affiliated with Andrews for a minute or two there. You worked with the Atlanta Falcons. You were at Georgia Tech when they won a national title. You currently have pivoted into PensacolaHoops.com and the Innisfree Hotel's beach basketball tournaments, yep. Plural, November and December. And they bring a ton of folks through the city. They showcase our city, and they showcase this beach. And we're going to try to get Arnie to tell us about being a trainer and how that works, because we're talking about how sports and life intersect, and then we're going to find out why he wanted to pivot into basketball with Chip Bowes and how the tournament came about, and then what it does for our community. And then we're going to try to have a little fun as we wrap with a little word association. Arnie, does that sound good?
Hey, I'm excited to be here, Kay.
Good deal. Good deal. Okay, we're going to do all that and more after this.
You are watching Surrounded by Sports, a podcast hosted by Kevin Perkins. This show emphasizes how sports and life intersect while showcasing the Gulf Coast. And now, Surrounded by Sports.
Welcome back. Once again, thank you to Faust Builders, McCory Home Sports, Sideline Sports Bar and Grill for allowing me to chase knowledge wherever I can find it. I'm lucky enough to have Arnold here. He is knowledgeable.
Some days.
Some days? Okay. Now, so how does one be, like, when did you pivot into deciding you wanted to be a trainer? It had to be, you said high school, right?
Well, yeah, I got involved
DeKalb County?
Prior to that, back in Denham Springs, Louisiana.
Okay.
My backdoor neighbor.
So you're southern.
Yeah, I've lived all over the South. It's the only place I deviated was 3 years in Lubbock, Texas.
yeah, like that's not southern.
No, that's the moon. If you watch Landman, it's real.
Okay. I love that show.
Oh, it's a great show. We just watched the opening of this season.
Last night, Sunday night. So in Louisiana, you realized you weren't probably going to be an athlete. You still liked it, wanted to be around it. Is that how it starts? Or?
Well, it got me. Our backdoor neighbor was assistant football and head track coach at the high school, and got to know him that summer. And really had nothing going on, new school, didn't really know anybody, and he got me involved. And then when we moved to Stone Mountain, got involved with my high school there, and it just offered me a way to get a college education.
Right.
Through some scholarship I was able to earn. My mom was a single mother with 3 kids. We didn't have a lot of money, and it was just a way.
That was your path.
That was my path.
Right.
And
when did you realize you had that? I mean, okay, being a trainer, once you get past a certain point, it's more than just, rap and stuff and all. You have to have a certain aptitude for. When did you realize you were smart like that?
Smart or dumb, I don't know which. It just, you fall into something, and not to be egotistical, but I don't believe in luck. I believe you make your own luck. I think I always had a good work ethic, was brought up that way.
Right.
And you learn and apply. I mean, I really thought I wanted to be a lawyer, when I grew up.
Right.
And but got into it, busted my tail. Opportunities presented themselves, and you look back, and 40 years later, this is what I've achieved or been part of over these years.
Yeah.
The interesting thing was, at the time that UWF was phasing this out to outsource, I had started the tournament in my artwork, but on a personal level, it's been totally refreshing that you do something for 40 years. It's not that it loses its challenge, but it's the same old issues, just different faces.
It becomes a grind.
It becomes a grind. Because I don't believe in burnout. I really don't. I think it's between your ears. You've got to, you choose a path, you follow that path.
Right.
But it has been so refreshing, challenging, different, moving into the last 5 years of what I'm doing now. Even though the tournament is a lot of what I did when I was in the college ranks.
Right.
Except now I can make a little money off of it.
Right.
You know, but it's what we did setting up for tournaments, hosting teams. You know, I've hosted regionals, championships, been a part of that.
Correct.
It's an event. You set it up, you run it, you eliminate issues, and you hope for a smooth event.
Right.
And that's no different here. And the good thing is we're in year 8, so we've sold ourselves on the community. I mean, the first year or two was pulling teeth some days.
Right.
But now they see what we bring to the table because we are out of the box compared to the majority of events that occur here in Pensacola Beach. But it works.
Now, why do you say you're out of the box?
Our format with the hotels, with the community here, typically most events are pretty much come in, pay a fee, run your event, go home, take your money wherever you're from.
Right.
A lot of the other events here in Pensacola area are what I call not closed events, but you're basically cycling the same money. It's a lot. It's
Recycled money.
Very heavy local involvement, which is great.
It is great. It is great. 100%.
But you're not creating economic. You're going through the turnstile.
Right.
You know, we'll have 66 teams come in. 60 of them are from out of state or out of region.
Right.
Our target area is 4 to 8 hours.
Right.
Around Pensacola, and they're bringing fresh money, outside money in, which is what stimulates our economy.
Yeah. Right.
And I think our biggest aspect of what we do is we're not doing it in July. They don't need help at the beach selling the beach in July.
Correct. Yeah, right.
You know, it sells itself.
Right.
We're doing it in November and December, which is economically the slowest time of year here.
Right.
And that's newfound money for here at the beach. And I got to give thanks to the city of Gulf Breeze that after the hurricane, Sally and the bridge debacle and COVID, they gave us access to the rec center for our December tournament so we could grow this thing from when we started 16 teams to now 2 tournaments of 66 teams.
Yeah. Now, and I think too, like if you're an economics major, you go, well, in economics they taught you that recycling economy is the way that economy is supposed to work. But if you live in a tourist community, which Gulf Breeze, Pensacola Beach are, you cannot function on just the money going that lives here already. You need these hotels. That's why we have tons of hotels. And you provide a 90% occupancy, right?
During that week in December. Yes.
During the week in December, right? And so what you're doing is in a time where we don't normally have the influx of tourists. You're providing basketball players, basketball teams, families to come in, fill up hotels, and spend money locally. I've told you before, and I will say it all the time, I don't know that anything does what your tournament does for our community financially because of the fact that it isn't in season. I think that's a legitimate statement right there. And I think that Josh Lucking at the hotel over there will tell you the same thing. Shout out Josh, he's a wonderful man, and I think he would say the same exact thing. And so how did you wind up with Chip Bozen starting this?
Well, when I was the head trainer at UWF, I met Chip because Chip is an old official.
And also a great basketball coach. I was at Chip Bo's clinic in about 1984. It still goes on today at the PSC facilities. Wonderful man. Go ahead.
But Chip, we became friends, and in 2016 I had started In the Game magazine, looking for something to carry me post-retirement.
Now, was that basketball?
It was all sports.
All sports. Okay.
High school prep.
Okay.
Junior age sports. And for the guy I'd partnered with, it didn't work out. We had some success. We had gotten with the magazine business, we were actually getting in the black year 2, which is unheard of.
Right.
But I couldn't do it by myself. I was still working at UWL.
Right.
So in one of our conversations, Chip said, have you thought about starting a tournament? And then it crossed my mind from the magazine. So we kicked it around. We did our research. We found out that usually that week between Christmas and New Year's, there was less than 14% occupancy out here at the beach.
Right.
So that was.
So you did due diligence.
Yes.
You said what will be most beneficial to this community, and you scheduled yourself right
and
there.
get the players involved, because
Right.
you need two things primarily. You need hotel rooms and you need gyms. Right. You can build the rest of it around it, and that's what we've done. The tournament is like an onion, not to reference a Shrek analogy,
right.
but it's not one dynamic. It's layers of dynamics. It's
Right.
getting the community, and when I say community, the beach community and the Gulf Breeze community behind it to create an atmosphere during this time.
Right.
Because the majority of these people coming in from 14 different states this year have never been to Pensacola Beach.
That's right.
I had not really been here till I moved here 12 years ago.
I can tell you on 4 different occasions I have had coaches tell me they're coming back with their wives.
Yeah.
Right? They come into town, they're working, but then of course you take your team out to walk on the beach, and then you realize, my goodness, look at this sand. It's white. Look at how laid back it all is. And he's like, man, I'm coming back next spring. And it's like it's so great to know that it's not just money, and it's huge monies. You told me $2 million comes
Economic impact.
impact
for the
is
area.
$2 million. Is that both?
That's everything.
That's everything. Right.
I'm not smart enough to separate them out, so that's why we weren't even smart enough to name them different names. It's November and December, because the way we run it though is really one big entity, and we just have two tournaments.
Right.
But it's exposing people to this because, boiling it down, it's sports tourism.
Right.
Baldwin County, one county over in Alabama, it's $1 billion industry for them. $1 billion, not $1 million, $1 billion.
Baldwin County,
Yes.
which does not have a beach that's beautiful out there.
No, it's but they've got the facilities.
They got
and they've got the groundwork.
Right.
That's the challenge in our area. I know Ray Palmer at Pensacola Sports have tried to do what they can.
Right.
But we are limited with what we have to work with.
Now you had some Pensacola folks involved as well, right?
We got
Helping you get the tournament up and going.
No, it was primarily me and Chip, and then we partnered with Innisfree,
Right.
and then just built it from there.
Okay. Good.
But we try. It's not that we don't go across 3 Mile Bridge, but part of our, when we were able to expand the big tournament in December, is we try to focus on the beach and Gulf Breeze area.
Okay, I think where my disconnect is I said Escambia County is involved.
Well, Pensacola Sports. Yeah.
Right. Because because like you said before to me, sometimes it's hard for me to understand. We're 20 years in, and Escambia County is here, and Santa Rosa's here, and then Escambia is here.
Oh yeah, I'm still learning to drive around Pensacola. It's because
Right.
we used to kid Lafayette, Louisiana was laid up by a drunk Creole.
Right.
Ain't no road goes straight without changing names more than a half mile.
Right.
And Pensacola has some of those same vestiges.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to name it after whoever's got the last house on the left.
Exactly.
But okay, so and $2 million, we're talking about a 2-day tournament, a 3-day tournament, and they got to drive in. So about 6 days, we're pushing $2 million through the communities.
Correct.
You're filling up the gyms, but you're also filling up these restaurants. I know that from a restaurant manager's standpoint, we run summer numbers next week. In December, we run summer numbers. And if you don't understand what that means, it means more people get to come into work, more people get to leave with money in their pockets. And this is on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They're going to be off on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
We operate where it's a volunteer basis on Thanksgiving, so there's only 2 or 3 people, skeleton staff, and if nobody volunteers, we're not even open. This year, enough people did. But so most of these people don't even make money that week unless you're tournament, because normally people don't want to spend money early in the week because they're traveling in a couple of days. So you're not going to have people in there on Monday, Tuesday. Here we have full hotels,
Oh, yeah.
and then December heading in, the time of year when you as a Pensacolian are going to spend money in Pensacola purchasing things for Christmas. If you don't have money, as they say, there's no fun without funds.
Exactly. And so, and we have looked and explored other events, sports, because very graciously, the leadership at Innisfree Hotels reached out to me a couple years ago. The first year we went to, they saw what we were doing, and basically reached out. Now I had to chase them down back in '17, but now they see that we're legitimate.
Yeah.
We tell you we're going to do it. We do deliver.
Right.
And our numbers support us. I mean, now we have grounded facts and evidence and and body of work that we're just looking at different sports from that October to 1st of March time. Because like I said, they don't need my help in the summertime.
That's right.
But
They're full
in the
anyway.
winter time, what can we do? And really the big limitator on that is just what we have to work with, facilities that would drive people to come from many states around, that 4 to 8 hour circle, and participate in this. And that's our biggest challenge for the Pensacola area.
And the Gulf Breeze Rec area, you obviously went to them and grabbed that. Because there's multiple basketball arenas in there.
Well, we have to. And then the quality of the gyms. These games we host are regular season high school varsity games, boys and girls.
Right.
We're not going to do it like a youth league in the summer where you have, the multi-phase gyms like at UWF where they run 4 games in the same gym and everybody's distracted. That's not the product we're putting out there.
Right. You get your own gym. You're playing a regular season game. This thing counts.
It just happens to be here.
Right. Correct. Okay. So how does that affect? Now I know Coach O over there has really created a program at Gulf Breeze. How does Gulf Breeze High School play into?
Well, they're our host facility.
Right. And you play games there.
Yes, the November tournament will take place completely at the high school. We play 9 games a day. The December tournament will run the court there, plus the 2 courts at the rec center.
Yeah.
The benefits to Gulf Breeze High School are a lot, and they're great partners.
Right.
It has over a $20,000 benefit to the school.
Right.
They get all their concessions off both tournaments. Their men and women get 5 games each. They don't have to travel. They don't have to pay officials. They don't have to pay table crew. It's all part of the tournament.
Wow.
It would cost them $7,000 to $10,000 to go somewhere at Christmas time or Thanksgiving time to go play in a tournament in Orlando or Jacksonville or somewhere else.
Correct.
This is coming to them. From Ryan's perspective, he gets to play competition he will not see till March.
Quality
to get his team ready to have a good year.
Right.
And then the money we bring in. So
right.
And we donate after the tournaments. We donate to the high school and all.
Correct.
Matt Alt and all the staff there have just been wonderful. It's a nice win-win relationship.
Any business will tell you if there is a way to make money without spending money, please bring that my way. And that's what you're doing for Gulf Breeze.
Well, I mean,
along with quality play.
Well, without them, we don't have a tournament.
Correct. Correct. You have to have a host.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a very mutual
win-win for both.
Exactly.
Which is that's one thing I think. This business model, you're into win-win, but I think you in general are into win-win.
Oh, it's the only way to be successful, KP. I mean, it's like our sponsors. I mean, I could charge a lot more for sponsorships.
Sure.
But why?
Right.
That layer of the onion, I want when our people come in for these tournaments, I want them to be able to walk in, not have to wait 3 hours for a wait or have one waitress working the whole restaurant.
Right.
I want them to come have a great experience.
I get it.
Because you know what? That experience will carry you. So if they come to Sidelines, these are the best dang chicken wings I've had, and I'm ready at the beach, you know what? Where are they going to eat when they come back in June?
Yeah.
They're coming to your place.
Right. And what this really is, it's a way for people to make money here, sure, but it's also a commercial for Pensacola that comes in, and you're talking about Kentucky and Ohio and name all the states, or some of them.
Well, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio. We've had Virginia. We've had New Jersey, Arkansas.
Right. And all those people go home and say that place is great.
Yeah. We're not going back to Orange Beach or Destin. We're coming to Pensacola.
Right.
And there's a lot. I get calls all through the summer from different. Hey, we're here. I mean, I'll go meet them for an adult beverage or visit with them and all. Right. Because we have about a solid 40% of our teams every year are repeaters.
Yeah.
Some come every year. Some come every second year or third year. They
Right.
get on a rotation and
Right.
for their kids. But going into year 8, it's kind of you're seeing familiar faces coming back.
And you're not having to sell people to come.
No, it's
They're
sells
calling
itself.
you. Right,
I mean,
right.
We make it a very coach-friendly tournament
Right.
because of Chip's background and my background.
Mm-hmm.
When we started, we made a list of what we liked about tournaments and what we didn't like about
Right.
and we tried to skew it all.
To what you like.
Our promise, you're going to spend 2 hours in the gym, you're going to spend 22 hours on the beach.
That's it.
80% of the time, we got decent weather at that time of year.
Yep.
You know, and if
Yep.
we have that, if it's over 60 and sunny, we can turn the lights out in the gym and play with square balls. They're just happy to be here. You know, it just, you know, but
Right.
it's selling this community.
Right.
We sell them on the museum and, you know, and just
Perfect.
come enjoy. And some have history here or been here and all,
right,
you know.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to take a break real quick, and when we come back, we are going to play word association with James. I have so much trouble calling you James.
Just
James
call- it's
Arnold
Arnold.
Gamber. All right, we're going to do all that. We're going to talk about different stuff as we do a word association game and more after this. Thank you for watching Surrounded by Sports content. This content is sponsored by McCory Homes, Faust Builders, and Sideline Sports Bar and Restaurant on beautiful Pensacola Beach. Follow all of our content on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and find out how sports and life intersect with a focus on the Panhandle. Now, back to Surrounded by Sports. Okay, word association, first of all. Thank you for watching this. Surrounded by Sports, Kevin Perkins, James Arnold Gamber. We're going to delve more into now about your career as we talk about word association. First of all, national title with UWF, national title with Georgia Tech. National titles, how does it jump out at you when I say that?
Well, what I felt at the end is, it's actually I'm trying to think of the right word. It's the icing on the cake,
Right.
because every year you work your tail off,
Right.
you know.
And you're
And-
getting guys healthy. You're having to tell guys they can't play. You're having to tell guys they can.
All the day-to-day grind
Right.
that goes into it. But if you're fortunate, very fortunate, you will have that season where
Everything goes right.
it all falls in place, and at the end, we won.
Talk
Talk
about that staff at Georgia Tech, though.
Oh, it was amazing. I was I think 23, 24 when I got
Oh, my
hired there.
goodness.
Bobby Ross was the head coach.
Mhm.
Ralph Friedgen, who later coached at Maryland and all, was our OC. George O'Leary was our DC. Chuck Prefer, who ended up coaching DBs with the Lions for years, was
Yeah.
on staff. Brian Baker, who coached a long time in the NFL. Pat Watson, who went on to Georgia, who unfortunately died earlier with a heart attack, coached there. I'm trying to.
That's okay.
Danny
that's okay.
Smith, who was the special teams coach for the Steelers for years, coached on that staff.
What made you
Lance Thompson, who was a GA for us,
yeah.
who coached all over the SEC.
Right.
And I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of people,
What made your head coach so special?
Bobby Ross was a very unique man.
As a trainer, you're working very intimately with the staff, right?
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
He was super organized. He had we would, at the start of the season, meet, and he had a 3-ring binder that had a plan for every day of the season.
Yeah.
And then if you had rain, you go to addendum PX or whatever it was.
Correct, whatever it is.
So you didn't have to sit around the table for 30 minutes to figure out what you were going to do.
Right. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it had flexibility and all. But the man, he was a very humble, simple. Him going out to a special meal was him and his wife going to Western Sizzling. I mean, he was a very unpretentious man and very, just super person.
Yeah. But those
he-
steak tips were good back in the day.
Oh, back in the day. Well, a quick story is when he took the job in '87, and I didn't join until '89. They had a Mercedes-Benz for him for his dealer car. He made him take it back. I don't know what he had, just some American.
I don't need it, right? Yeah.
It wasn't because it was a foreign car. He just did not want a Mercedes.
It was too much.
It was too much. He felt it was pretentious.
That's not me. Right.
Yeah, that's not
right,
us.
Right.
You know, I wanted just a simple 4-door Impala.
Now you had overlap as you when you leave Valdosta State, which we didn't talk about that much, but when you leave Valdosta State with your training thing, and I believe you interned as well while you were there, right?
Correct.
So you were at Georgia Tech and with the Falcons while you were interning. There was overlap there, correct?
Right. I was the gentleman who was the head trainer at the time at Georgia Tech, Jay Shue, had been an assistant with the Falcons for 7-8 years.
Right.
From when he left Furman till he took the job in the USFL, the Michigan Panthers.
Yeah.
And him and the gentleman who was the head trainer with the Falcons, Jerry Ray, dear friends. And so when I got hired on at Georgia Tech, and that was that's what got me in front of Jay to get that job.
Right.
Was gracious enough to let me work Sundays or in the off season. If we didn't have much going on, I could go help Jerry with the Falcons. Going back to the strike in '87 to all of that, you know,
You were there till '93ish, right?
yeah, because in February of '94, I left Georgia Tech and took a full-time assistant position with the Falcons.
Right.
Because the gentleman who got the head job, his name is Ron Medlin. Me and him were interns together 10 years earlier. Actually, roommates in the old Falcon Inn.
It's all very close knit.
Oh yeah, it's all. And currently he got let go there about 10 years ago, and then he was the head trainer with the Ravens for about 10, 12 years, and he's still in not an emeritus status. He's helps, but he kind of does his own thing.
Right. So tell me this, because some of those Falcons teams around the turn 89, 99, Jerry Glanville.
He was the head coach.
He was a different kind of cat. If you don't know, he used to leave seats for Elvis at games. Wore the boots. He was very. Tell me this: was he misunderstood? People have him hit up right on the head as being a little outlandish, or because he had a circus around him, but they won a lot of games.
It was a good run. Jerry, first off, was a masterful defensive coach.
Right.
But Jerry liked to talk mainly about Jerry.
You're not talking about me. I'm not listening.
Right. I mean, you know, and my interaction was very limited in my capacity around him. But he was always nice. And I'll say this about the Smith family. They took a lot of heat for many years when they owned the Falcons.
Right.
But one thing that stood out to me is Rankin Jr., who was president, Taylor, who was the general manager, well, not general manager, but leadership, the two sons of Rankin Sr., who ran the Falcons. Even when I was a little intern, would always come up, Arnold, how you doing? Shake my hand. They always treated me as a person. I mean, they didn't have to. I mean, I was cheap hired labor.
You're wrapping ankles.
But, or holding coolers or whatever.
Right.
But they always treated me as a person.
Yeah.
And that always has stood out to me.
Right.
Because there's a great adage that you judge somebody not by what they make or what position they hold, how they treat the helper.
That's it.
The waiter, the janitor.
Yeah.
And I've always employed that. I mean, everybody's important to me.
Right.
And if you don't, I mean, it'll catch up with you.
Oh, well, and that's why Innisfree Hotels Pisco Beach tournament works, because you pay attention to everybody that you talk to. You don't. Well, the only man that matters is the manager. The rest of y'all can whatever, right? You don't do that.
Well, that's just not me or Chip's personality.
You couldn't do that if you wanted to.
No.
That ain't who you are.
What makes it work? We're fortunate. Like I said, going into year 8, probably 80% of the people that work with us have been with us since year 1 or year 2. You know, the early days. We try to reward them. I mean, take care of them financially, treat them as people. You know, it's just, if you create that sense of culture and community.
Right.
And like I said, I try to do that with our sponsors.
100%.
I mean, look, if y'all want to come hang out and come on, I mean, the more the merrier. I mean, it's just about, but it was the same way when I ran sports medicine departments. It's really easy to have the football crowd, or if it's certain, you know, you got the football, basketball, then the minions.
Right.
It don't work that way. Everybody's got to feel like they're part of it.
100%.
And the more you feel part of it, that's just HR per se.
Right.
You know, if you treat your busboy and your dish cleaner like they're important, they're going to feel important. And
Right.
what type of effort do you get out of that?
Right.
They get a higher effort. It ain't
100%.
about paying them $1 more an hour or something like that. It's people want to belong.
Right.
And I think this comes from sports too, though.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I think it's the overlay.
Right.
There's a lot of talk about the last 15, 20 years
Right.
about leadership.
Uh-huh.
You can't teach leadership.
Correct.
You're either a leader or you're not.
Right.
Now you can teach management.
Oh,
I
right.
know we went sideways.
Right. No. Let's go back to it because I want to talk real quick about now. Primetime was there. Deion Sanders was there. He was playing 2 sports. Anything about him that stuck out?
Well, the one thing that always stood out to me, and I've had really no contact since the late '80s, early '90s.
Correct.
But I'm a big fan of his with what he's gone and done over the last 8-9 years.
Right.
Getting into the coaching realm. Deion, first off, to play 2 sports at the highest level is godly. I mean, I don't.
Right.
I mean, it's
Right.
hard enough
Right, that's crazy.
to be successful in one sport at that level, but to do it at 2
Right.
is just undreamable. And one of those athletes comes out about every 10, 12 years.
Right. And we were lucky enough to have Bo and Deion at the same time.
And yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen often.
Interesting tidbit about Deion. When they asked Mickey Andrews who the hardest working player he ever coached was, he always says Deion Sanders. And I think people miss that. And I think people don't get that how hard it is to play baseball and how many cuts he was having to take during football season. I mean, and like he had to, because you can't just walk out there and do it. It's hard, and so it's amazing the work ethic he had. And I see him sometimes get so frustrated. Like he was giving a speech to his players the other day, and you could just see the frustration because he's like, I'm trying to gift you the keys to the car, and you won't take them and drive. Just and this isn't about being a football player. It's about
Life.
working and being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, and doing what you're supposed to be doing. But okay, so Andre Rison, you brought him up. We talked about that one time, and they had, they were obviously. Deion said that Andre made him a better player.
Yeah, because Andre was a very talented receiver.
Right.
He would stay after practice. He made a lot of super one-hand catches back.
Sure. Yeah.
These kids
Before
today
they
would,
before Beckham. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but he would work on that. That didn't happen naturally.
Right.
I mean, I've seen a lot of good players. I've seen a few great players.
Right.
And athletically and mentally, there's usually not much difference.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
that worth ethic and being committed to it.
Yeah.
That, like, could Andre Rison been better?
Sure.
I think so.
I think he would tell you that. I think he would tell you that things that happen outside
He
influenced inside.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Right.
Mean, I was with the Falcons when Lisa left. I burned down this house in Atlanta.
Right.
That was an odd day in the clubhouse.
Imagine if that happened now with social media, how crazy that would be. Yeah.
But I just think Andre had distractions.
Sure. And now he's a coach, and he's pitching. Look, he made it to the top.
Oh,
and I think it's
very
silly.
successful.
I
think he was all pro a couple of years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We sometimes people think, and we talked about this before. Oh, he never won a title, or he was never like Jerry Rice, or what. He left with a lot of money in his pocket. If you make $10 million, $50 million, $20 million, in any other career other than sports, you succeeded at life.
Exactly.
Right, and now I'm sure he's trying to let people know, look, I could have been more. As great as I was, I could have been more. That's why you go into coaching, to help people avoid pitfalls that you made.
Exactly. You try to share that information. Hopefully, and I try to pass it on because there was people when I was young that helped me in that capacity.
Right.
Whether you want to call it mentorship or guidance or advisor or friend or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I mean, when we're young, we think we're infallible, immortal, we're all guilty of that.
Right.
I mean,
correct.
But hopefully, you're smart enough to at least gather a little bit and pay attention and all, and utilize that information when it's given to you.
Right. Let's pivot into. We're going to wrap here as we're talking. Let's pivot into Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate.
He was very successful, by the way. People forget that part of it.
I mean,
at Auburn, they haven't had runs like that much.
No, we won 50 games in 4 years.
And one for the thumb.
We beat Alabama 7 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great 10-year run, and one of the main reasons.
And then you went to Texas Tech with him. Again, you did well.
Yep. And then spent 3 years out there with him. And then when he went to Cincinnati, there was nothing there. I would have gone north, and I hate the cold, but just to get out of Lubbock, Texas.
Right,
but,
right.
And then that's how I ended up here at UWF.
Right. So what made Tuberville good?
I think Tommy's strengths was he the smartest football. I mean, he was a good football coach.
Of course.
But I think what Tommy's strengths were his people traits, character, and his ability to basically run it like a CEO. I mean, he was involved.
He was a talent evaluator, both as coaches and players.
But I think his strength was he hired good people and put them in positions to succeed.
Right.
After the first year or two, once, anytime you're a new hire, it's just like a new relationship or anything.
Right.
You're filling each other out and,
Right.
But once we were about into year 2, 3, and we had got the culture established.
And you knew you could trust everybody.
Yeah. And everybody knew we're all on the same page. We're all working.
Right.
He was pretty hands-off. I mean, he knew you were
Right.
going to do your job. You knew what the
Right.
expectations were. And he wasn't going to come in there and micromanage,
Right.
And we felt like I had a great relationship with Tommy. I mean, when he brought me out for my interview at Texas Tech, was sitting in his office. You want to do the same thing? Yeah, okay, we're good.
Okay,
I mean, he knew what I was bringing to the table.
Right.
I mean, I knew what his expectations and how he wanted things.
Right.
Because typically, me and the strength coach ran the internal part of the program because we
Correct.
were there all the time with
Right.
the kids. The coaches
Right.
were out
Day to day.
recruiting. Yeah, day to day.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
Let's wrap this thing real quick because I want some health advice because I'm not as healthy as I should be. Real quick, rank these 3 things: diet, stretching, training. As you age, what's most important?
I think the biggest thing is activity and flexibility.
Okay.
Diet, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, 80% of what happens, you're kind of predestined. Blame that on your parents. That's genetics.
Okay.
Now, but you can modify that by eating a healthier diet.
Right.
Being active.
Right.
You don't have to go out and bench press the gym anymore at 60 years old. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
Just walking, just staying active. Get off your tail up from behind the desk or the computer and
Move around.
go cut your grass.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a formal workout. Some people need that regimen,
Right.
but it's what works for you. I woke up early and took
Right.
dogs for a walk.
Right.
Well, they drug me around. I mean, rephrase that.
Right.
But I mean, but a lot of it's between the ears.
Yeah, my father was a jogger, right? And then as he aged, I mean, the frustration for a little while there is he started realizing I can only run walk, and now I can't even run walk, But now I noticed he's pivoted into a gardener kind of.
Yeah.
He's constantly doing yard work. But what he's doing is he's getting that physicality out of himself that he had established was a pattern
Right.
at a young age and kept it going through.
Yeah, I mean, it's and a lot of that is much being active.
Right.
And active doesn't mean you have to go dig a ditch for 8 hours.
Right.
It's just, and it's not just
something.
physically active. It's
Yeah.
mentally active.
Right.
I have seen countless people, great people I work with, they get to the 60s, they punch that magic golden bell of retirement, but they have nothing in their life.
They shut it
There's a
down.
huge void there.
Right.
And a lot of them are dead within 2 years.
Right. Right.
Why kill yourself for those 40, 50 years
Right.
to die on the couch?
Right.
There's old, your body is like a vehicle and you get it young and it's brand fresh. When I roll mine into St. Peter's Gate,
Right.
it's going to be missing all hubcaps, shattered windshield, missing side. I mean, you get one chance at life.
Live it.
And life is people and experiences. It
Correct.
ain't money. It's
Right.
people and experiences.
Right. That's it right there. That's it. Arnie, thank you so much for giving me your time. Thank you to Faust Builders, McCrory Home, Sideline Sports Bar and Grill. We are here in Sideline Sports Bar and Grill. You may hear a little background noise. I may be able to get that out of there. But the most important thing is you heard words from Arnie that matter, both about how sports and life intersect, how as we age, things can be, we can push off the aging process moment by moment, right?
Right.
But more importantly, also you can go check out the Innisfree Hotels Beach Basketball Tournament because it is a fantastic thing. And you're going to wonder why there's so many people in Gulf Breeze and in Pensacola Beach next Monday, right?
Yep, November 24th, 25th, and then December 27th, 29th, and 30th. We can't play on Sundays.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, Arnie, thank you so much for your time.
Kevin, great, always fun.
Appreciate it. Awesome. Folks, this is Surrounded by Sports. I'm Kevin Perkins. That's Arnie. Thank you so much for watching.